Hi dear students, welcome back to another session. In the last class, you already learned regarding protein synthesis. The first step of the protein synthesis is transcription. You already learned. In that, like sense stand, anti-sense stand, promoter, structural genes, terminator, you already learned. So today class, I am going to start with the transcription unit and gene. Transcription unit and genes The transcription unit is containing mainly three parts. The first one is promoter, and second one is structural genes, and third one is terminator. In the last class, you already learned regarding promoters. What is meant by promoter? The promoter, it is a where the RNA polymerase binding site on DNA. So that binding site is called as what? Promoter site. Next, terminator. Terminator, it is located towards downstream. Of sense stand, it means towards 3'. Simple, where the RNA polymerase activity is stopped. So such location is called as what? Terminator. Here RNA polymerase enzyme activity is stopped. So such location is called as what? Terminator site. Now in this between promoter to terminator, which is present, structural genes are present. So these are translated. These are copied. These are copied into RNA. These are copied into the RNA. Such is called as what? Transcription. Then you already learned. Right? Next, today is information regarding genes. What is the definition of the genes? The gene is defined as the functional unit of inheritance. What is the definition of gene? It is a functional unit of inheritance. The gene we can define as it is a functional unit of inheritance, right? Which is the inheritance material? Chromosome is the inheritance material. On chromosome DNA is present. It means there is no doubt at all genes which are located in the DNA, right? So there is no doubt at all. It is clear that genes which are present in the DNA. So now it is little bit difficulty to give the exact definition to the gene in the sense of DNA sequence, because the DNA containing sequence, sometimes it is going to code for amino acids. So now amino acids will come together to form of protein. So such a shortest sequence of DNA we can call as what? Gene, right? But sometimes the gene containing the sequence which is not going to code for any amino acids or any protein, right? It means here in this case the genes are not expressed its character. The genes are not expressed. The DNA sequence is not going to code for any type of amino acids or proteins. And sometimes, so this sequence are going to code for formation of tRNA as well as or RNA. So we know that these two are not a proteins. The DNA is going to code for other than molecules that are DNA, tRNA and rRNA. T means transfer RNA, R means ribosomal RNA. So in such case also, the sequence of DNA is known as, or it is called as gene. Right? What give the definition regarding gene? Gene is a functional unit of inheritance. It is a normal definition. But it is difficulty to give the exact definition in the sense of DNA sequences. Gene is containing what? One smallest sequence. One smallest sequence of DNA is called as a gene. But here some DNA sequence are going to code for amino acids and proteins. Some are not going to code for any proteins or amino acid. So that's why it is difficulty to give the definition in the sense of DNA sequence. Right? The latter, the scientists are classified the genes into three types based on their functions. The genes are divided into three types based on their function. Right? The first one is cistran, recon, muton. The first one is what? Cistran, recon, muton. Cistron, recon, muton. Cistron, recon, muton. Let's see what is cistron. Cistron is a structural functional unit in a transcriptional unit, which is always active in condition, which is going to code for polypeptide chain. So such a particular unit in transcriptional location, it is called as what? Cistron. In general, in eukaryotic cells, it is called as, it could be say monocistrons. In prokaryotic cells, it is called as polycistron. Right? What is the heading first one? Cistron. Cistron generally it is a one small segment or one small part of DNA sequence. Okay, and which is going to code for polypeptide chain. Okay, so such a structural functional genes of transcriptional unit is called as cistron. Such a structural and a functional genes of transcription unit is called as cistron. Right? In eukaryotic cells, it could be say as monocistron. In eukaryotic cells. In prokaryotic cells, it could be say polycistronic DNA. In prokaryotic cell, the structural functional unit of transcription is called as polycistron. It is called as polycistron. Okay. Next one. Next is what? One is cistron. Second one is recon. It is also smallest unit which capable to allowing of recombination and crossing over. So such unit is called as what? Recon. It is a It is a smallest unit of DNA which is capable for allowing of a recombination and a crossing over. Such a smallest unit of DNA is called as what? A recon. And third one is muton. Third one is what? Muton. It is also smallest unit of DNA which is capable for mutation. It is also smallest unit of DNA which is capable for or allowing mutation. Such a small unit of DNA is called muton. Okay. Now, so this is actually information regarding gene. Gene is what? Gene is generally what? It is a functional unit of inheritance. Inheritance material is a chromosome. The chromosome is containing DNA information. So the DNA containing small segment, the sequence of DNA we can know as gene. But in the terms of DNA sequence, we can't give the exact definition for the genes because all DNA sequence are not going to express. So some are expressed and going to code for amino acids. Amino acids are going to come together form of protein. Some are not going to express. For example, euchromatin and heterochromatin. Euchromatin is active in condition. Heterochromatin is inactive in condition. Right? And next. So some of the DNA sequence are not going to code for protein, but they are going to code for other molecules like DNA and RNA. In such case also we can treat the DNA sequence as a gene. And later the function, based on the function, they are divided into three types: cistern, recon, muton. Simple. Cistern is a structural functional unit of structurally as well as functionally active unit in the transcription, right? And recon, smallest unit of DNA which is going to allow the recombination and mutation. And muton is for mutation. In eukaryotic cells, the structural gene sequence is interrupted sequence. It is not a continuous sequence, right? But in prokaryotic cells, what happened? It is the structural genes is a continuous sequence is present. So in eukaryotic cells, the sequence is interrupted by non-functional genes, such are called as split genes. Such as split genes are first discovered by Sharp. For that, he has got the Nobel Prize in 1933. What is split genes? It means in eukaryotic cells, like monocistronic structural genes, in the gene which is consist of non-functional part along with the functional part. So that is called as what? Split genes. So in this, which is a non-functional gene that is not going to express its character, it means it is not going to code for any amino acids, right? So that is called as introns. Which is functional genes such is going to express its character, nothing but it is going to code for amino acid. So such expressed gene sequence we can call as exons. So in eukaryotic cells, the DNA sequence is a combination of exons and introns. So it is an interrupted sequence, right? That is the right point. In eukaryotic cells, genetic information is interrupted. So genetic information we have to call in eukaryotic cells monocistronic structural genes. So these monocistronic structural genes which are containing interrupted sequence. So such is called as, or such are called split genes, which are first discovered by Sharp. It is a scientist name. He has discovered these split genes in the 1993. For that he got the Nobel Prize. Okay, very important. Next, so what is split genes? What is split genes? Split genes which are present in only eukaryotic cells and not present in prokaryotic cells, which are present in only eukaryotic cells and which are not present in prokaryotic cells, right? It means what? Eukaryotic genetic sequence is monocystonic structural genes are interrupted sequence, it is discontinuous gene sequence, it is continuous gene sequence, right? What is the definition of split genes according to the Sharp? He says that sometimes the genes are consist non-functional part along with the functional part of the gene. So such is called as what? Split genes. Such genes is called as what? Split genes. Very important. Okay. So here, so which are functionally not active, which are functionally is not active, which are means which are not expressed it character. It means they are not going to code for any amino acid. So such inactive gene sequence of the DNA is called as introns. It is called as what? Introns. Next, which genes are active, functionally active, and they are going to code for amino acid or code for polypeptide bond, polypeptide chains, such are called as exons. According to the NCERT, which is sequence is expressed, such a sequence is called as exons. Which DNA sequence in the cystron is not expressed, such is called as introns, right? So in a eukaryotic cell, if it is a DNA sequence in eukaryotic cell, now it is a combination of what? It is a combination of like exons, introns, like a combination is present. Okay, so that's why it is interrupted sequence in eukaryotic cells, right? Then here this introns are deleted or cut by ribonuclease enzyme. Okay, so that cutting of introns, elimination of non-functional DNA sequence, that is called as splicing. It is called as what? Splicing, right? Some more information we will discuss in the next class. Next, now after elimination of introns which are present, exons are present. Now introns are eliminated, it means they are cutted in this location. They are going to cut like this. Now what happened? Now all exons are come together to form one continuous sequence. So here with the help of ligase enzyme, which is had the capacity to paste the two exons, and again it is form one continuous sequence. Later it is going to involve in translation process, useful for coding of protein or amino acids, right? So this is information regarding what? genes, exons as well as introns. Next, these exons which had appeared on matured RNA or processed RNA. These exons are appear on matured RNA or processed RNA. Right? Next, introns are not appeared on matured RNA or processed RNA. Introns are not appear on matured RNA or processed RNA. What is processed RNA? What is matured RNA? It means simple. At the beginning, what happened? Double stranded DNA, dsDNA. On dsDNA, one of the strand is act as a template for synthesis of mRNA. Now here, this is mRNA is formed. Okay. In case of eukaryotic cells, the first formation of mRNA, it is called as primary RNA. The first formation of mRNA is called as primary mRNA. Now it is a combination of what? It is a combination of exons, introns, like combination is there. Later it is processed and become matured. Now this matured mRNA, which is containing only exon, active genes are present. Now it is not interrupted by any non-functional genes. So that's why it is called as what? Matured RNA. This is mature mRNA. So this type of matured RNA, processed RNA, we can notice in only eukaryotic cells. We are not noticing in prokaryotic cells, right? Next, here, sometime what happen? The inheritance also may affected. Inheritance may also affected by promoter and a regulatory gene sequence of structural genes. So that's why sometime we can call as a regulatory sequence of structural genes also we can notice as genes, and which are not going to code for any protein and RNA, right? Inheritance may also affected by affected by promoter and a regulatory sequence. Promoter and a regulatory sequence of structural gene. Nothing but structural unit is what? Cistron. So that's why sometimes this regulatory sequence of structural unit is also known as regulatory genes. Sometimes we can call as regulatory genes. So genes, it should be code for any one protein or amino acid now. But these regulatory genes do not code for any amino acids. It means they are not going to code for any protein, right? And as well as they are not going to code for any type of RNA. Right? So but then in such case also we can consider as it is a gene, right? So that's why it is a difficult task to give the definition in the terms of DNA sequence. Okay. Next, process of transcription and types of RNA. Let's see types of RNA and process of transcription, right? The process of transcription is differ in eukaryotic cells as well as prokaryotic cells, because in eukaryotic cell the information is interrupted information, in the prokaryotic cells it is a continuous genetic information is there. So that's why the difference is there in prokaryotic transcription to eukaryotic transcription. Before the discussion regarding transcription, you have to know the types of RNAs. Mainly three types of RNAs are present in the cell, either it is prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cell. The first one is mRNA. M means messenger RNA. It is transcribed from template strand of DNA. Nothing but nonsense strand containing information is transcribed into this RNA. So that RNA is called as what? mRNA. Next one is tRNA. T means transfer RNA. It transfers the amino acids from cytoplasm to on mRNA or on ribosome. Third one is rRNA. rRNA, which is structural and sometimes it is act as a catalyst also, right? RNAs are mainly three types. The first one is mRNA, tRNA, rRNA. So M means what? Messenger RNA. Here T means transfer RNA. R means ribosomal RNA. Right? What is the function of messenger RNA? Messenger RNA, it is a template. It is act as template for amino acid for formation of polypeptide chains, right? Next, M means messenger. It contain antisense information, antisense stand information, right? So that's why it is called as what? Messenger RNA. Next one is what? tRNA. It means transfer RNA. Which is transfer? Amino acids are transfer from cytoplasm to on ribosome or mRNA, So that is the function of tRNA. Next, rRNA, ribosomal RNA, which is the structural role. Structural as well as, and sometimes it is also act as biocatalyst during the transcription, right? Now this is the types of RNAs. Next, process of transcription. First we are going to focus on prokaryotic transcription. Prokaryotic transcription. Transcription in prokaryotic cells, right? Here in prokaryotic cells only one type of enzyme is enough to finish the complete process. Only one enzyme, that is DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme, which has the capacity to initiate, elongate and terminate the transcription, right? Here only one enzyme is involved. Only one enzyme is involved during the prokaryotic transcription, that is DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. RNA polymerase enzyme. In DNA replication, it is a DNA dependent DNA polymerase enzyme. Right? This one is DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. This one enzyme is enough to synthesize mRNA, tRNA as well as ribosomal RNA. And in transcription, 3 steps are there. One is initiation, second one is elongation, and third one is termination. Right? So these 3 steps also be successfully completed by involving of only one enzyme, that is RNA polymerase enzyme. The question is here, sir, how it is possible? This entire 3 synthesis of RNAs and these 3 steps are finished by involving of only one type of RNA. How it is possible? Because it is possible by adding of some factors to the RNA. Adding of some factors to the RNA, that is sigma factor and rho factor. Sigma factor is when sigma factor is going to adding on RNA polymerase enzyme, it going to make some changes on enzyme. Then only it is going to binding on promoter side. Right? Next, elongation process, and third one is termination. During the termination, sigma factor is detached and rho factor is attached on RNA polymerase enzyme. Then it is going to make some changes on enzyme. Then the enzyme is deactivated. The transcription is stopped. Right? Here the first one is what? Sigma factor. Second one is rho factor. RHO, rho factor. So when sigma factor is attached to RNA polymerase enzyme, then it is start the initiation. Then only initiation is started when RNA polymerase enzyme plus cofactor. Right? Now rho factor. When rho factor is attached to the RNA polymerase enzyme, then RNA polymerase enzyme is inactivated, and it is going to reach termination. Okay? When it is bind, what happen? In this enzyme, some conformation changes are occurred, which are related to initiation. And in this also be some conformation changes are changed. So that's why polymerase enzyme activity is stopped. Right? Next, elongation process. Elongation process. In elongation process, right, you already know that now one strand is act as a template. On the strand, nucleotides are going to attach. Right? Here, this is one long DNA. Right? Now here, this gene sequence have to transcribe on mRNA. First, what happen here? RNA polymerase enzyme. This one is RNA polymerase enzyme is attached on this strand. Right? Now polymerization is going to start based on this sequence. The strand is what? Template. Which is template strand? Nonsense strand is a template strand. Now it is going to move towards, like it going to move. So before that, so this double stranded DNA, it should be become as single strand. It become as unwindase. In the presence of unwindase enzyme, double stranded DNA is going to, the stretches is going to open. Then this strand is act as a template. Now in the cytoplasm already deoxy ribonucleoside triphosphates triphosphates which are already present in the nucleoplasm. Then what happen? So such are, if for example, here this is a RNA polymerase enzyme. Now here sigma factor is attached. Now it is going to start the initiation, right? So this is template strand. If here A is there, it is going to bind with here uracil in the presence of which enzyme? RNA polymerase enzyme. Now it is going to elongate it like this. If here G, C, C, G is there, it is going to bind with C, G, G and C. Like strand is formed. Now this strand is newly formation of mRNA strand is always 5' to 3'. Okay. Next. Now this nucleotides are source for opening of DNA, and as well as act as substrate for polymerization. Okay. Now by using of this nucleotide, the complementary strand is formed on template strand. Now what happened when after completion of this 5' to 3' RNA is released into the nucleus. This is 5', this is 3'. In case of eukaryotic cell, it is released into the nucleus. But now we are discussing regarding prokaryotic cells now. So it is released into the cytoplasm. And this sequence is what? Continuous sequence. There is no interrupted sequence. It means splicing is not takes place. Then later what happened? So sometime what happened during the transcription, immediately before the finishing of transcription, translation also be initiated. It means immediately occurred. Transcription and translations are both immediately occurred in case of prokaryotic cells, because these two reactions which are located in only cytoplasm, there is no boundary. But in case of eukaryotic cells, transcription in nucleus, translation in cytoplasm. Next, transcription in eukaryotic cells. Transcription in eukaryotic cells is completely different to the prokaryotic cells. In prokaryotic cells, only one RNA polymerase enzyme is involved, but in this case, 3 RNA polymerase enzymes are involved. And these 3 enzymes they function differ. The first enzyme is for RNA or RNA purpose, and second ribosome polymerase enzyme 2, which is useful to synthesis of hnRNA, heterogeneous nucleus RNA, that is premature RNA. And third one is RNA polymerase 3 enzyme, which is code for formation of tRNA, right? And also after formation of mRNA, it is undergoes splicing. RNA splicing takes place, and also it is undergoes post modification changes are occurred, right? Let's try the points. First one, just put the heading. Transcription in eukaryotic cells. Okay. First one, RNA polymerase enzyme. Enzyme 1. The function is, it is going to code for or synthesis for 28S ribosome, 18S ribosome, 5.8S ribosome synthesis purpose it is useful. And second enzyme is what? RNA polymerase enzyme 2, which is going to code for formation of hnRNA. HN means heterogeneous nuclear RNA. It is prematured mRNA. It means first time formation of mRNA. That is called as hnRNA, which is consist what? Which is consist exon, intron. So that is called as what? hnRNA. And last one is RNA polymerase enzyme 3, which is going to code for formation of tRNA and 5S or RNA, and also for snRNA. SN means small nuclear RNA, 5S ribosomal RNA, and this one is a tRNA, right? So these three enzymes, their functions are very clear in eukaryotic cells, right? Next, transcription. Next, transcription is occurred by involvement of these enzymes. What happened? From dsDNA, one strand is act as a template to form of hnRNA is formed. Heterogeneous nucleus RNA is formed. Now it is undergoes splicing. Splicing means kya beta? Splicing means, it means elimination of introns. Elimination of introns with the help of ribonuclease enzyme. Now all introns are eliminated. Now these all exons are jointed by ligase enzyme. Ligase enzyme. Now such is called as what? Processed RNA. Now hnRNA, after splicing it is become as mRNA, matured RNA. Now this matured RNA, till now the total chemical reactions are takes place in nucleus only, which is takes place in only nucleus, right? After formation of mRNA in the nucleus, with the help of nucleus pores, it is entered into the cytoplasm. When it is entered into the cytoplasm, immediately some changes are occurred on mRNA, right? So such are called as post-transcriptional changes. Post-transcriptional changes, right? So that is, one is capping and tailing. Capping and tailing. So this splicing as well as post-transcriptional changes we can notice in only eukaryotic cells, not in the prokaryotic cells. What is capping? Capping means simple, just adding of 7-methyl guanosine at 5' end of the mRNA. So that is called as what? Capping. Just adding of methyl guanosine at a 5' end of mRNA, right? So that is called as what? Capping. Now tailing means what here? In the tailing, number of polyadenylate acids which are going to add at a 3' end of mRNA. 3' end of mRNA. Nearly 200 nucleotides are going to attach at a 3' end of the RNA. So that is called as what? Tailing. Capping and tailing. That is called as post modification changes. Simple diagram. So this is DNA, and here this information, here initiation, here this is a ribosome, like mRNA is formed, right? So this is 5' and this is 3'. Now what happened if you focus on this mRNA? It is a combination of what? Exons introns, exons, introns, right? What happened? Splicing takes place in within the nucleus. It means introns are going to eliminated. Introns are going to eliminated. Now it is a combination, it is a formation of only exons. This is what? Matured mRNA, which is formed in the nucleus. So this is called as what? hnRNA. It is called as what? hnRNA, right? When it is entered into the cytoplasm, immediately what happened? Changes are occurred. So such changes are here, adding of guanine, G, like it going to added. At which end? 5' end. And here what happened? Number of adenine, polyadenine tail is going to form. Nearly 200 nucleotides is going to added. Right? So this is a post-modification changes of mRNA. So this is actually complete information of transcription in prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Okay. Thank you all of you.